What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to compare the LePera Outcast Daddy Longlegs seat to the stock seat on my 2016 Harley Davidson Road King. So without further ado, let's jump in and let's check it out. Okay, so as I just mentioned, this is a 2016 Harley Davidson Road King. And I've been working on this bike trying to get it to fit me pretty well because I'm a taller rider at around 6'3", 270 pounds. Now, I've already went ahead and did floorboard relocation brackets, which drop my floorboards down an inch and shifts them forward an inch. And I do have an extended brake lever and extended shift lever on the other side. I also went ahead and put 18-inch ape hangers on here as well to give me a longer reach for my arms. But I knew I needed to get a different seat because the stock seat over here, which is still pretty comfortable, it just doesn't give me enough leg room. So I went ahead and did some research online, and I ultimately ended up deciding on the LePera Outcast Daddy Longlegs seat. Now, I've had other seats in the past. I've had Saddlemen, I've had Mustang, I've had Bad Boy Cycles, I've had all of these different extended seats, and a lot of them end up being too stiff and not that comfortable to sit on. This particular seat here is actually very comfortable to sit on. It is a firm, high-density foam, so it is going to give you that firmness, but it's not going to be uncomfortably firm like some of the other seats you may have tried in the past. Now, again, this particular one here does have a little branding on the side. It does have a little diamond stitching going up the middle portion here, which gives it a nice custom look. It does seat you back a little bit further, giving you roughly 2 inches of additional leg room. And it does have a pretty nice size passenger seat here on the back. So if you are riding a 2-up, your passenger is going to be pretty happy with that too. But what I found is that this particular seat is a great combination of looks because it does look really good on the bike. And it's also very comfortable and it's very supportive. And that's what I was looking for in a seat. Because again, this seat over here from stock, these have low density foam in them, so they're going to be very smushy. So what's going to happen is the weight of your body is going to compress the low density foam and you're going to sink down in the seat, pretty much sitting on the bottom pan. And when you compare the two, which I'll take that seat off here in a minute to show you, the quality of the LePera seat is by far way better than the stock seat over here. So let me go ahead and take that seat off real quick. We're going to throw it over here on the table. We're going to compare the two side by side real quick, and then I'll get on the bike and show you how I look sitting on that seat versus sitting on that seat, and then we'll wrap this video up. So I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so we're back. So as you see here, there is definitely a difference in the overall look of the seat. I mean, this one here just looks a little bit bulky, a little bit outdated, doesn't really look as custom compared to this seat over here. Even if you just look at a side profile like that, this back portion here where my hand is a little thinner compared to a big bulky back end like this. I'm also not a fan of these little buttons they put on here too. They just look kind of cheesy to me, but again, not a big fan of that. And if you just kind of look at them from above, you can see here, this one has a pretty wide back seat here as well, but it's not a whole lot different than the size of this seat right here. Again, if we just kind of look at it from a side view, you can see how much nicer this one looks. It definitely sits you back a little bit further. So if we just go ahead and take out a measuring tape real quick, okay, and we measure from the back of the seat here, from that seam right there to the nose, we're about 18.5 inches to the nose. Now if we go, it's kind of hard to find a seam here, but if we just go from the top of the seat right there to the front, we're about 17.5, give or take. But you can see how much of an angle this is sitting on. So your butt's sitting right here, so a lot of this is not even touching the small of your back. It's just kind of a waste of seat space on this design, where this one here is giving you so much more seating space. And trust me, you do gain about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of additional legroom on this particular seat. Now, if we go ahead and measure the width of the seat, again, I'm just trying to eyeball this a little bit. You're roughly about 13.5 to 14 inches on that one. This one here, if we just kind of guesstimate, a little wider at about 15 inches, give or take. Now, if we look at the back passenger seat here on the stock seat, again, about 13.5 to 14, and depth, about a foot. If we look at this one here, we're about 11 on this one. And if we look at the total depth, about a foot as well. So this one here is a little bit more streamlined, But I can tell you this, my wife sits on this seat a lot and she loves this seat and actually says that that one is more comfortable to sit on than that one. Now, if we turn both seats over, you're going to see some quality difference right here. Okay. Number one, the LePera seat is going to be much heavier because it's actually made out of a steel pan here. So you have an all metal pan here, which is going to be a lot heavier and stronger than this plastic pan here. Because again, remember, this is a low density foam. So when your weight of your body smushes down in that seat, you're basically sitting on a piece of plastic. So this right here is not going to be as comfortable. This one here, being an all metal design with high density foam, is going to give you a lot more support. Plus this one here has a nice carpeted bottom. This does not. This one also has rubber bumpers right here along the outside perimeter of the seat. So what that does is when you mount it on the seat, it's going to help absorb some of that vibration that you're going to get from the seat, and it's going to make the seat a little bit more comfortable for you and your passenger. The stock seat does not have that. This does have a metal bracket design up front that slips under that little tab on the front, so you have a nice metal design there. This is just basic plastic. But overall, the LePera Outcast Daddy Longlegs seat is leaps and bounds better quality and way more comfortable than the stock seat. And for you tall riders out there, it will gain you about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of leg room. And again, I've tried other seats that only gain me about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. This one here so far has been probably the best in my opinion. So next, let's go ahead and put the stock seat back on the bike. I'm going to go ahead and sit on it. I'm going to show you what I look like sitting on the bike with the stock seat, and then we're going to swap it back out for the LePera Daddy Longlegs, and then I'll show you how that looks, and then we'll wrap this up. So I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so now we got the stock seat put back on the bike. As you can see, it doesn't look as nice, and you can see right here the flat part of the seat is pushing me a little further to the front of the bike. So let's go ahead and sit on it. Okay. And again, my butt is right to the back of there, so I can't go back any further. Now keep in mind, I do have an extended floorboard relocation bracket on, which does lower my foot position down 1 inch and forward 1 inch. But we're just gonna compare my seating position, but maybe pay close attention of where the front of my knee lines up with the Harley emblem right here. So if I just put my hand here like that and move my leg away, you'll see that my hand is right about on the A of the Harley Davidson, somewhere right around there. Like that. So again, you can see the H right there. My hand is pretty much right on top of the A. Now I do feel I'm a little bit on top of the tank right at the bottom. I definitely feel a little closer to the front of the bike. You can see right here if I sit straight up where my arms hang. You can see the angle of my arm coming down and then up. So I kind of sit just like that. Now if I lean back, my arms are a little bit more straight. But when I sit straight up like this, you can see how much droop goes into my arm because I'm closer to the windshield. So that's pretty much how I sit right there on the stock seat. So let's go ahead and take this seat off. We'll put the LePera seat on and we'll compare that. Okay, so putting the new LePera seat back on your bike is very simple and easy. There's a little hook up here with the pink dot. That is what hooks onto this metal tab there. So you're basically just going to slide the nose of the seat down, and then once you kind of get in a position, just kind of wiggle it, it'll slide in. You line your bracket up on the back where your bolt goes. You take your bolt and a Phillips head screwdriver, tighten it down, and that's it. So now that we have the new LePera Outcast Daddy Longlegs seat on the bike, let's sit on that. Okay, now I already can see a gap between the bottom of the tank and my inner thigh. So I already know that I'm sitting back pretty far because I could see space here now where before I was pretty much up on the tank. So again, the back of my butt is right up against that lumbar part of the seat there. If I put my leg back up to where it was, now look at the front of my knee. It's basically behind this emblem where my hand used to be up here. Now it's back here. So you can see there's a huge difference in leg room with the LePera Daddy Longlegs seat. If you take a look at my arms sitting straight up, I can actually lock my arms out now. Because if you remember, when I had the other seat, I was like this. Now, I'm like this. Again, if you're a taller person and you want to gain as much leg room as possible on your Harley Davidson touring bike, number one, I would recommend a set of Tall Boy Cycles floorboard relocation brackets for your floorboards because they lower your foot down an inch and shift them forward an inch. But by doing that, if you have larger feet, you might want to go with an extended brake lever and an extended length shift lever. But once you do that, get yourself a LePera Outcast Daddy Long Leg seat. You'll gain about 2 more inches of leg room. But when you do a setup like this, for you tall riders, you're going to gain a couple extra inches of leg room. You're going to get more foot room space when you put some ape hangers on here like that, which for a tall rider with long legs and long arms, it just makes you feel more comfortable so that you're not all bound up feeling on a bike. Again, tall riders on Harley Davidson touring bikes, they end up feeling kind of bound up. But if you put some floorboard relocation brackets on, you get yourself some handlebars that shifts forward a little bit, you get yourself a LePera Daddy Long Leg seat, you're gonna gain so much more leg room and you're gonna be much more comfortable riding your Harley Davidson. Okay, so as I just showed you, the LePera Outcast Daddy Long Leg seat is a game changer for me. Again, I'm a taller rider at around 6'3", 6'4", give or take. I'm around 270 pounds. I have longer legs, longer arms, and I really wanted to try to make this Harley Davidson Road King fit me better as a tall rider. And I gotta say, the LePera Outcast Daddy Long Leg seat really made a huge difference. It's a very comfortable seat. I've been riding on it for maybe about 1,000 miles now, and I gotta say, it's still very comfortable. It's probably still not fully broken in, but I have owned other seats like the Saddleman Step Up extended seat, the Bad Boy Cycles Freedom extended seat, and I've tried a couple other extended seats. And in my honest opinion, the LePera Daddy Long Leg seat is way more comfortable than any of them. It's still a high density foam that does have a firm support, but it's not like you're sitting on a brick either. It's a great combination of looks and comfort, but it's going to gain you a ton of leg room for you tall riders out there. So there you go. At the end of the day, my overall impressions of the LePera Outcast Daddy Long Leg seat, I definitely give it a thumbs up and give it a go. As a tall rider at around 6'3", 270 pounds, it makes a world of difference, and I highly, highly recommend it. Now, if you want to see the model number there, that's what is on the box. I don't know if that helps any of you, but hopefully it does. So if any of you tall riders out there are looking to gain maximum leg room on your Harley Davidson touring bike, I definitely recommend trying these couple things out. Number one, the Tall Boy Cycles floorboard relocation brackets. I've done videos on them in the past. They definitely make a huge difference in giving you more leg room. Yes, on very, very steep, tight turns, you might scrape your floorboards just a little bit more than usual, but for the extra leg room you gain, to me, it's well worth it. But if you are going to do the floorboard relocation brackets, depending on the size of your foot, you might have to go with an extended brake lever and an extended shift lever, which I did, which are available through Kuryakin, and I'll put links in the description of this video if you want to check any of them out. The second thing, get yourself a set of ape hangers or some type of different shape handlebar that allows you to push the bars forward a little bit. That'll give you a little bit more reach to your arms and you won't feel so bound up in your arms. Third, get yourself a LePera Outcast Daddy Long Leg seat because it's a game changer. It's going to gain you about 2 extra inches of leg room. It's going to be very comfortable. It's going to be supportive and it's going to look great on your bike. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope this video helps some of you out. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button to like this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And also do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all. And as always, see you in the next video.